Welcome to precisionplaythings.com. Today we are going to go ahead and look at the other models that we could build with the racing cars. So here is the completely built model. Let us go ahead and first dismantle this and let's start with another model. First let me go ahead and completely dismantle this. So it is always better to keep hold of the nut with the wrench and unscrew the bolt with the screwdriver. So we have gone ahead and completely removed the tires now. I have screwed these a little bit tighter, that's why it takes a little bit more effort for me to go ahead and unscrew these. I kept a washer for these bendable parts, as Zephyr calls them. I don't know, these might be made up of some flexible aluminum. It also feels like a metal, doesn't feel any plastic. I use these washers over here so that it doesn't actually damage those bendable parts. These nuts and bolts actually hold up really well even after use. They aren't some cheap quality nuts. I think they aren't made in China. Usually these nuts and bolts, when they are cheap and when they come from China, they usually break while tightening up, but nothing like that happens over here. Usually for tightening up I hold this wrench over here like in slot so it doesn't move, and then unscrew the bolt from the nut. I'm like completely removing all the nuts and bolts, so all the pieces are ready for the next model. Let me go ahead and store all these nuts and bolts in this box safely so they don't roll off, and I think you'll not be short of any nuts and bolts in these builds because they give you excess, a couple of extra nuts and bolts here and there. These kind of U-joints usually have like 2 or 3 nuts and bolts coming together. I say these are the mostly hardest parts to go ahead and assemble. I think while disassembling, let us see how easy or difficult it is. To loosen up, you rotate it anti-clockwise, and to tighten you rotate it clockwise. It's always the same in all nuts and bolts, or even screws for that matter. We have almost disassembled the racing car. Just a final bolt. See, over here you could see these U-type joints are one of the most difficult, unless what I have seen and experienced by building these Mechanix. It is like completely impossible to go ahead and put bolts over here, but it does take a little bit of effort. Let me go ahead and safely put all these bolts inside. This looks similar to the one what we built. This is the one what we built. This looks different than the model what we built. Let us look at other models as well. This looks nice. Let us go ahead and build this, the one with the yellow seat. A11 is like the A11 what they have mentioned is like 11 holes. So the seat comes over here behind these. Let us go ahead and fix that first. I usually go ahead and tighten up these bolts with my hand. If it's really necessary, I go ahead and screw it up a little bit tighter. But as we are just starting the build, I don't think it's necessary. When there are a lot more parts coming together, it is kind of necessary to tighten up these bolts so that it is not loose for the other parts to come and merge in. The manual is kind of simple. It doesn't explain in a very in-depth way, like how they go ahead and give a guide for the Gundam models. If you're not sure of what Gundam models are, they are from Bandai, a Japanese manufacturer, and the Gundam models are nothing but from the cartoon Mobile Suit Gundam. This seems a little bit loose, so let me go ahead and tighten it. So those are like the model kits. Let's go ahead and screw these seats in the 4th holes. Let me go ahead and tighten these just in case they look a little bit loose. Okay, I'm like starting to bend it a little bit. These are not that flexible compared to these. You can screw these nuts and bolts whichever way you feel comfortable on screwing them. If you want the aesthetics of your finished product to be a little bit cleaner, you could do by putting all those nuts towards the inside of the build, so it doesn't look awkward at the I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these nuts and bolts at the back, as we are gonna go ahead and bend this at the front. Okay. Now comes the difficult part. Oh my god. This looks a lot sketchier than I thought. Let me go ahead and finish it at the end. This part doesn't look the way it looks in the diagram. This part is actually painted in black. Let me go ahead and check, is there any other parts? No, this is the only one. And this one. This is going to be quite difficult. So we are using a long nut over here. So there are like multiple parts, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and it should go and sit in the 5th part. Leave the bolts from the bottom, so it's easier for me to screw. Okay, it's for the rear wing, the spoiler. I think it should come from here. I don't know why they require an extra part over here, but anyways, it's gonna be complicated. Putting extra pieces. I think it's just for an aesthetic thing that they are putting these flaps over here, using a long bolt. Unless you are not in a hurry, all these are gonna be a good activity for the kids. At least they are gonna use some kind of solutions. So these are one of the reasons not to tighten up everything. You can just move this part away to go ahead and put this bolt in. I could say this as the most difficult part of the build, as you have to like tighten it up to go ahead and bend that steel. The final step are the tires.